Hello and good evening. Guess what I'm going to talk to you about? If you guess history, you're right. A little over 22 years ago, my partner and I decided to leave New York City. Leaving a library, a beautiful Carnegie building I was library manager of, and moved to Phoenix, the Wild West. As soon as we got here, all I heard was there's no history. But I got here, and everywhere I went, I saw people and places that had so many stories. But not everybody's story was evident. And so when I asked about LGBTQ history, all I heard was, we have nothing. It's all been knocked down. Case in point, the 307. All that remains of that is a plaque in the sidewalk, some memories, but it was the catalyst that started the Arizona LGBT plus History Project. On vacation in Provincetown, I found a stack of those muscle magazines from the 50s. I'm flipping through and my jaw drops because muscular mermen, half-naked guys, all from Phoenix, was the artist. George Quaintance, he was working here throughout most of the 50s, doing his art. And then I met a woman, Rusty Warren. I was flipping through a bin of albums in a thrift shop, and I came across one of her 15 albums. Now, her hit song was Knockers Up. She was very much a feminist in her music, and so I was lucky to work with the Library of Congress to get that music to them so she can be called the birth mother of the sex revolution. Indeed. So my joke is, we need a bust of Rusty somewhere in this city. So the term Two-Spirit, which is a relatively new term, but really references an ideal that was lost decades ago, and really honoring those folks and indigenous communities that live in other genders. They've been celebrating that at the Two-Spirit Powwow at South Mountain Community College for the last few years. And then someone slipped me a name. Nikolai Derelin. He was a Russian aristocrat that decided it was time to move to the US, so he moved to Chicago. Now he got a good government job, got 2 wives, 1 divorce, and tuberculosis. So like so many people, he came here for not just our dry air, but our clean air. But you know, he didn't travel like everyone else. He had his own doctor. Why, in fact, in the boarding house he was in, he had his own private bathroom installed in his room. If you can imagine calling the Hilton and asking for something to be installed in the room, good luck. And so it didn't go so well for him. When he passed away, it was discovered that he was born a woman. That story went viral. And I was lucky enough to work with the local trans community because he had been buried in a dressing gown with no headstone. So I worked with amazing people like Erica and Monica. Now, Monica, you might not know Miss Helms, or actually Mrs. Helms, but you know her activism. If you've ever seen the trans flag, that was her creation. She did that right here in Phoenix, and that flag is now sitting in the Smithsonian Institute. She's also a veteran and still very much a trans activist. We were able to commemorate, celebrate, raise funds to get Nikolai a headstone. And that's just what we did. In fact, I was just at an event over the weekend. A woman stopped me in my tracks and showed me a photo of her and a group of her friends that had tracked down this headstone, laid flowers in front of it, and took a group photo. Then a woman from ASU said, hey, let's do a project. We showed it on PBS. It was up for an Emmy the next day. Guess what? We won the Emmy.